Hi everyone, this is Danielle, My Bitchin' Vegan Kitchen. I wanted to do a follow-up video to the vegan dog food recipe video I did a couple of days ago. I wanted to go a little bit more in depth into how much I feed my dogs and the supplements that I use and how to measure those out. So consider this part 2 of vegan dog food recipe. You can see here the mixture that I made up. I make it in a really big pot. I do have a lot of mouths to feed. I have 6 dogs, 2 big dogs and 4 little dogs. I make about 4 big Ziploc bags of these, and this is how I store it, and it feeds my dogs for about a week. A good idea is to feed your dogs double the amount of this homemade dog food as you normally would from their dry kibbles. Now my big dogs, they both weigh 50 pounds each, and I normally give them 1 cup of dry kibble. So I give my big dogs 2 cups of the homemade dog food. Makes sense. Just a good rule of thumb, feed twice as much of the wet made homemade food as you would of dried kibble. And now for the supplements. It's very important that you work out the kinds of supplements you're going to use in your dog's food. Feeding them this homemade dog food is just simply not enough because there are certain supplements that your dog needs that typically come in traditional dried kibble that you now need to add to the food. Now, if you only have a few dogs and you don't necessarily make an army amount of dog food like I have to, you can actually add your supplements into the food itself. Then that way when you scoop the food, you're basically done. In my case, I have to add the supplements afterwards because every dog gets a different amount of supplement, and it would just be way too much for me to dump crazy amounts of supplements into this huge, large pot of food. So I just measure out my supplements every night and every morning when I feed my dogs. Number 1, they're going to need a good multivitamin. Now the multivitamin that I use is called Veggie Dog, and I've showed this in my other video. So Veggie Dog is a supplement that is made by Compassion Circle. I'm gonna put the link below, so don't worry too much about seeing the actual packaging. It contains things like kelp, taurine, vitamin B12, which are the main things that a dog needs. Now the weight requirements are listed on the back as far as how much to feed. So for my 2 50-pound dogs, I feed 2 teaspoons each, and then it goes on down the line based on weight and so on and so forth. But you'll just want to read the directions on the multivitamin based for your dog's needs. I highly recommend this Veggie Dog supplement because it has everything in one that you need, and you don't need to buy multiple supplements like a separate B12, a separate taurine. This is a really great supplement, and I highly recommend it. Sometimes I go a little overboard on supplements and want to add extra things. In case of this month, I bought extra sea kelp, and I'm adding that to my dog's food. So basically, you want to think of supplements for your pet like supplements for yourself. You want to eat a variety of different food groups, a variety of different fruits and vegetables, and the same thing goes for your dog's food. So you definitely want to change up the green vegetable that you use, you want to change up the orange vegetable, you want to change up the protein source, whether it's different types of beans or different types or colors of lentils, and also the carbohydrate source. So it might be brown rice or quinoa, things like that. So sometimes I'll just feel crazy and buy extra supplements, like I bought this sea kelp this time, and I just give the big dogs 1 teaspoon each and the little guys a half a teaspoon. Another very important part of your dog's diet, much like humans, is to take a probiotic or an enzyme. I definitely recommend this Prozyme Plus. It's also distributed by Compassion Circle. I don't make any sort of money or have any sort of affiliation with them. I've just always really known their products to be the strongest and the oldest on the market and the most pure, really the most holistic and whole supplements that are out there. And this comes from them as well. This Prozyme is a all-natural enzyme supplement, and this is great as well to help their digestion. Another supplement I'm currently using is Veggie Yeast, and it's actually from the very same company that makes the Veggie Dog multivitamin. and it's basically a brewer's yeast. So you can buy brewer's yeast from any online store like Amazon or Vitacost or even your local health food store or vitamin supplement store. I just like to buy all of my supplements in one place. It's easier for me. I place one order, it's on auto ship, I don't have to forget, and I never run out. And this veggie yeast is actually really affordable. It was only $6, and this entire bag, as you can see, I have just a little bit left, but it's lasted me almost 2 months for 6 dogs. So again, you're definitely going to be making a little bit more investment in the supplements, but even with me having so many dogs, I really only have to reorder my supplements every 2 months. And I just look at it as, what are you paying for a bag of dry kibble like a Blue Buffalo or any of these high-end brands that are usually, $60 or $70 a bag. I definitely was going through a whole lot more food when I was feeding them dry kibble. I do always keep a bag of VDOG food on hand, and most of the time I'll feed the dry kibble in the morning and then this at night. But my auto ship VDOG doesn't come for, I don't know, another week, so they're just eating the cooked food right now. I kind of always keep a bag of VDOG food on hand. They used to eat it 100% ever since we've all been vegan for the last 6 years. And then I've been cooking for my dogs now for about a good solid 6 months. And let's just be honest, we all, on occasion, don't have time. Maybe you run out of food and you're not cooking for your dogs till the next day, or maybe, you're rushed off to work and you don't have the extra time. Of course, I do have a lot more pets than your average person. It takes me a little bit longer at meal times. However, I always have that VDOG on hand. My dogs will never go hungry, and if I'm in a pinch or racing out the door or what have you, they always will have a meal. And then again, sometimes just to kind of balance it out from a time perspective, I'll feed them the dry kibble in the morning and then the wet homemade dog food at night. And now for the most important part. Dinner time! Do you love it, Max? Milo likes it. There's little Muffin, the little thyroid patient. You want your dinner, little Muffin? Good boy. What a good boy. Good boy, Muffin. And then here's the little troublemakers. Sport loves his dinner. Peter Pan loves his dinner. Tinkerbell loves her dinner. She's the only little angel. I've never seen my dogs enjoy mealtime so much as to when I started cooking for them. Now, my dogs have been vegan over half of their life, and they've always been fed fresh fruits and fresh vegetables, and they are used to eating human food, which I really hate it when people say, oh, I don't give my dogs human food, but they give them leftovers from restaurants and steak bones and pizza crusts and all this, leftover crap. For some reason, our dogs have become like garbage disposals, and I think people have a disconnect from thinking about their little insides and the fact that a dog is not just meant to take, table scraps and leftovers and all the stuff that you wouldn't eat. If you wouldn't eat it and you wouldn't put it into your own body, why on earth would you put it into their little bodies? All you're gonna have is a sick dog with arthritis and health problems and overweight and joint issues and all these things that you're gonna have to treat down the line, which I guess that people maybe who treat their dogs that way won't treat their medical conditions, and they're probably the very same people who just dump their dogs at the pound when they're sick or old and trade them in for a new puppy. But overall, if you think about having an animal, it's really a part of your family and it should be treated that way. I'm just a really big advocate for feeding your dogs a whole foods, plant-based diet, and for feeding them human food. Animals are meant to eat real food. So I don't know how this entire connotation of human food came up with. If you think about kibble, God didn't make, dog food in a little tiny pellet that was compressed and manufactured and all of this crap and put in packages and then shipped off to stores, and God knows how long that kibble's been in that bag or how long it could sit there. The shelf life on dog food is like a year. it's just crazy to me. It's like eating prepackaged food, you know, off of a store shelf for yourself. Why wouldn't you just want to eat real, fresh, healthy food? And think about your poor dog, how boring that must be to eat the same damn kibble. It tastes the same, like hard. It's horrible for their teeth. It covers them with plaque and calcification. And that just can't be good for your dog. I'm not saying don't use it in a pinch. Maybe you're on a trip, you can't cook, but there is just no excuse for you not to be able to make a big pot of dog food, put some vegetables in there and some rice and some, you know, lentils, and have it cooking while you're cooking your family meal. I think problems are typically systemic, where, you know, if you start saying, I don't have time to cook for my dog, I don't have time to cook for my kids, I don't have time to cook for my family. We all have time. We all have the very same 24 hours in a day. And, you know, I'm a single furry mommy and I have a full-time job, and I'm working on, you know, educating about veganism and making videos and working on, you know, different e-based books and things, you know, just to kind of keep educating people on veganism, and as well as, you know, animal advocacy and spaying and neutering and animal health and wellness. And the point is, we make time for what's a priority, and it's definitely takes just as much time to go to a restaurant or go through a drive-through, or, you know, order a pizza and wait for it, or go sit down and wait to be served. And you just have to weigh what's important. And to me, the number one thing that's important is what goes in my mouth and what goes in their mouth, because I know that that is what's going to control me living a long life, to be there for them and for them to live a long, healthy life, so they don't end up sick and costing me thousands and thousands of dollars and heartache and pain later in life. My dogs are, everyone behind me is going to be 9 this year, except for little Peter Pan. He's 3, and then my older dogs are about 5. But my little 9-year-old dogs, they're like half their age. And when I compare them to other 9-year-old dogs at the puppy park, they have all their teeth, they're bright, they're running around, they're smiling, they don't have stinky breath, they don't have weird things all over their body and crusty hair and goopy eyes and skin issues. You know, my dogs are literally the exact same as they were when they were 1-year-olds. So just really think that health is an investment. It is not an expense. And you need to make time to eat whole, organic, non-GMO, plant-based food, and your dog should be the very same. So throw all that stuff in a pot. Watch my previous video, how to make vegan dog food. Change it up, have fun for your kids. Don't just make a trip to Costco and buy a bag of dog food and pour it in a bowl and just go through those motions. You know, really treat your pets like their family. They're the loves of my life. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'll put all my links below, and stay tuned for more. Thanks for supporting a plant-based diet for you and for your furry babies. Peace.